What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HnH Podcast. I am your co-host, Humzah Rana, joined by my older brother, Huzaifah Rana. This is, we're in the month of almost February. Can you believe it? Super Bowl is in literally 2 weeks. Time is going by crazy fast right now. But let's just get this episode going with Huzaifah. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, Humzah. Thank you for that introduction. And I want to thank everyone for watching this episode either on Spotify or YouTube. We ask that you guys please subscribe, guys. We're stuck at like 87 subscribers. I feel like I've been saying it every other week. But help us get to 100 subscribers, guys. We really appreciate that. Obviously, this has been an exciting journey for us. And here we are, as Humzah mentioned, in February. Before we get into the episode and the content, obviously a lot of NFL news, some sports news that we'll get into. But Humzah, have you ever heard... I was thinking about this as I was driving back home today, and I was checking my phone, and also this was on the news yesterday, of a polar vortex. A polar vortex. Do you know what that is?
No.
Well, first of all, it sounds like a movie, like the polar vortex. Sounds like something completely made up. But here in Canada, in Ottawa, Canada, and Ontario, the province that we live in, this weekend, Humzah, we are expecting a polar vortex, which is supposed to be like some of the coldest temperatures ever, up to it's going to be like minus 30. It's going to feel like minus 50. Can you believe that? Like, I sometimes wonder, what am I doing in Canada? Like, what am I doing in this country when it's that cold?
It's climate change. I'm actually taking a class right now on climate change.
Okay.
And, I guarantee you that's going to be a topic next week.
The polar vortex.
But yeah, apparently it's supposed to be the Ottawa on tomorrow. It's supposed to be the coldest, like one of the coldest places in the world.
I know.
Tomorrow.
It's gonna be insane.
Dude, I have class tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going or not. It's gonna be too cold.
It's gonna be too cold. Oh, aren't you in a car? You'll be in a car and then you just get out of there.
No, but I have to wait for a bus. I'm not doing that.
I see.
So that's too much. But yeah, this cold weather. How lovely would it be to be in like California right now, or Texas or something, where it's like you know, even Miami. There's a place in Miami that it started snowing. Not Miami, sorry, Florida.
Yeah.
There's a city in Florida that started snowing. You never see that. But
yeah, I know. I just had to bring up that polar vortex stuff because that stuff, it sounds made up. It doesn't even sound real. But I checked my phone and apparently that's what we're going to be experiencing this weekend.
Yeah, this is it's ridiculous. Also, did your phone update yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's just too futuristic for me.
Well, like the bubbles, the water bubbles,
and it's like water bubbles.
It's what it is. It's the water bubbles.
Water bubbles.
That's what it is. My phone is all like my new iPhone, like same iPhone.
It's like too futuristic now. Also, you don't have AirPods, but I put in my AirPods today, and there's a thing where it's like voice or what's it called? It's a voice translation. So like if somebody's speaking to me in Spanish, and I have my AirPods in, I can understand what they're saying because they're just
I've seen that before
in English. So
are you gonna do that? Are you gonna start speaking?
No, it's like 7 gigabytes to download everything. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that.
You should start speaking Urdu to people.
Yeah, but there's no option. I look for it.
But you speak it though. Oh, what a great start to the episode, Humzah. How have you been overall? Life's good though. Hey, for our listeners, we're gonna get to the content, but we're just gonna gradually get into it. We're doing some chit chat right now. We're having some fun talking. So Humzah, how have you been recently?
Nah, I've been good. I've been playing a lot of Siege recently.
Yes.
I'm silver 4, gonna hit gold soon. Next couple weeks.
Silver 4?
Yeah.
How come I didn't get a party invite yesterday?
We were basically playing FIFA yesterday. We didn't play Siege, but I've been playing a lot of Siege recently.
Remember that one time when you said that I would hop on with your boys, and then I hopped on, and then I was like, let's play Siege, Humzah, and then you had a 5-stack and you kicked me from the party. Remember that?
No, nobody kicked you from the party. I'm actually the one that said like, "Yo, my brother's gonna join." They're like, oh, okay, but then somebody else just joined.
No, I got kicked from the party,
and they just took him over you.
And back to what we were talking about last week about 2026, and you go back to 2016, which was 10 years ago. That would you say that's prime gaming experience 2016, or would you say 2020 COVID?
No, 2017, because that's when Fortnite started coming out. 2017, 2016 was the best for sports games.
Like the 2K,
2K, Madden,
was great.
even
Madden
FIFA.
was great.
When they first started adding foot drafts, even FIFA 15 was good too. I used to love FIFA 15. What other games came out? Even NBA Live was good back in the day. NBA Live was fun.
NBA Live. Well, you know what, man? Anytime you want to play me in 2K, you'll get that smoke. When you play me in Madden, you got that smoke. I'm also better than you in Fortnite.
You're not better than me in Fortnite. You're not better than me in Call of Duty, Fortnite, or Siege.
I promise you I'm better than Call of Duty and
You're
Siege.
not better than me in Call of
Duty.
You're not better than me in Siege.
I promise you I'm better than you in Siege.
No, I promise you're not. I promise you're not.
You want to end the podcast right now and go do 1v1 custom?
Yeah, we can do a custom. And we can post it online. We'll post it as
You're
a.
not better than me at Siege.
I promise you I am. I promise
This
you.
is ridiculous. This is ridiculous coming from Humzah right here. All right, Humzah, let's get into some content here, man. That was a good chat here. First of all, let's hop into, obviously, the NFL news around the league right now. Kind of building up to the conference games, Humzah. We will rewind to the divisional recap here real quick. We'll start off with the New England Patriots beating the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud with a record 14 picks in the first half. 8 turnovers throughout the whole game. The Patriots are moving on with Mike Vrabel into the AFC Championship. And Bo Nix, who we'll talk about Humzah, the Denver Broncos with the win over the Buffalo Bills. I'll ask you, Humzah, was that a right call for that interception that took place with Brandon Cooks coming down with the ball and it gets taken away? Was that a good call?
Yeah, it was. It was a good call. He didn't have full.
What?
No, that call should have standing. It should. It was 100% an interception.
Humzah, Cooks' knee clearly hit the
No,
floor.
but he didn't have full possession down. They're still fighting over the ball while he's turning around.
And by the way, that rule too, if guys are fighting for the ball, if it's a 50-50, they goes to the offensive player.
No. When he had the ball, and then his knee first for touchdown, but he didn't fully go down yet.
His knee hit the ground.
No, but he didn't have full possession of the ball.
He had the ball in his hand, Humzah.
Dude, his hand was there. The possession was still not there. He didn't have possession of the ball.
Okay, hold up.
It was a good call.
We didn't talk about this off air, but you were extremely wrong right now. I definitely think he caught the ball.
No, he did not.
If it's 50-50, it goes to the offensive player, first of all. And second of all, how come if that is not a catch, how come the one that Devontae Adams had against the Chicago Bears, when Kevin Byard or someone on their defensive back unit, when Devontae Adams' knee hit the floor, the Chicago guy barely had the ball, they gave it to Chicago, or is it a complete pass?
I don't know which one. No, I don't know which one you're talking about.
It happened in the game, but Denver got lucky. Sorry.
Well, I think it was a good call. It was a good call.
Well, you know what? We'll put the photo up as we're talking about it right now on the podcast, and we'll have our viewers let us know in the comments if they think that's a catch or not. Because I think that's definitely a catch. But regardless of that point, the Denver Broncos, they end up winning that game. Bo Nix got injured. Humzah Jared Stidham will be the starting quarterback in the AFC Championship game. We'll stay in the AFC. Humzah, what are your thoughts on those two teams, and what are your predictions heading into the AFC Championship game for the AFC?
I believe, and I think that, I think the Broncos are going to struggle at first with Stidham. I think eventually they'll turn it around. I think it's easy to say that you would think the Patriots are going to win without, Bo Nix for the Broncos. But if the Broncos pull it off, and you and I were having this conversation a couple of days ago, I think it's time to start having the conversation and be like, I don't think the quarterback is the most important position in football anymore.
Okay, so hold that point, Humzah. We will get to that. We'll have a nice conversation about that in our next segment here. So just prediction, though, you're thinking the Patriots are going to win?
I'm going to say the Patriots
Okay.
right now.
So I've been kind of going back and forth the whole week with this. My heart is telling... Sorry, it's easy to say the Patriots are going to win, and I do think the Patriots pose a bigger threat to the Denver Broncos. But there's just something in me, Humzah, that makes me feel like Jared Stidham is going to have a great game and shock the world and go to the Super Bowl. I think it's just a great story. And that home field advantage in Denver is a real thing. So you know what, Humzah? I'm going to go on the air here. I do think the Denver Broncos are going to find a way to win this game in a low-scoring affair. Obviously, everyone's going to pick the Patriots, but I think the Denver Broncos are going to, run away with this. Take this one. Sorry, not run away. It'll be a good game. Okay, so flipping over to the NFC, the Seattle Seahawks. Like, I don't care about injuries, man. Injuries. Every team goes through injuries, and I understand the 49ers have a lot of injuries. But when I'm texting 49ers people, the first thing they say is injuries. Oh, come on, we weren't even supposed to be in this game. Come on. Get that out of here. You guys made it to the divisional round. I'm not taking it away that you guys did have injuries, but they got the BTA Humzah, belt to you-know-what, by the Seattle Seahawks and that scary defense. And Sam Darnold had a great game there. And then the LA Rams in a thriller against Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears pick up their victory, Humzah. Who do you have in that game? Obviously, division rivals. They've played each other twice already this year, but this game is a lot more important. So, Humzah, who do you think is coming out of the NFC?
I think it's going to be another close one. I think, that home field advantage in Seattle is something different. Like, you can hear it off the kickoff. You know that there was an earthquake warning after the first kickoff return in Seattle because how loud and how much everyone was shaking. There was a legitimate earthquake warning in Seattle when that happened. But I did say before the playoffs started that I do think the Los Angeles Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Even though they're playing Seattle in Seattle, these are two teams that are super competitive. Two teams that had two competitive games earlier on in the year. They had a thriller literally a couple weeks ago or a month ago in Seattle, which went into overtime. I do believe with Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, with all these guys healthy, and Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, I genuinely believe that nothing can stop this Rams team, despite how good the Seattle Seahawks have been playing. I am going to go with the Los Angeles Rams in a nail biter though. It's gonna go either to overtime. They're gonna win with the last minute in the game. It's gonna be a close one.
Yeah, I think I agree, Humzah. I do think the Rams are going to take this one just because I think Matthew Stafford, is going to kind of show up in these clutch moments like you just talked about. Yeah, he's an older guy, veteran guy, been there, done that. And I just think his decision making at the end of the game is going to be very beneficial for a team like the Los Angeles Rams. Their defense as well is playing extremely they're playing at an extremely high level. And Seattle, I don't know, I think I carry more weight for these home teams because of the crowd and the noise. And you mentioned an earthquake warning was put in place after the last game. So, with that being said, I do think it's going to be a very close game, like you mentioned. But just something is telling me the Rams, Matthew Stafford, Puka, you know what it is. Puka Nacua is going to make an insane diving play, and so I do think the Rams are going to win as well. And we won't make a Super Bowl prediction yet. We'll wait until next week for that.
I also think that once Sam Darnold goes up against a team with a really good defense in the playoffs, at least he starts to crumble a little bit. And he did it last year against the Rams. Remember that when he was with the Vikings? Yeah, he got sacked like 5 times, threw like 2 interceptions. Did not have the greatest game. He also threw 4 interceptions when they played them the first time. And then he also threw like 2 interceptions the second time they played them in Seattle, and they still were able to come up with a win. I think this game relies on Sam Darnold. I think if Sam Darnold can't show up, I don't think the Seahawks are going to win.
Well, that is our AFC predictions. AFC and NFC prediction for the conference games this weekend, Humzah. Before we get into... Actually, why don't we do that now? So what we're going to talk about now is Humzah posed this question to me, and this is for our hardcore football fans, okay? So if you're a hardcore football fan, please, don't forget to comment on this part of the video. Give us your input, what you guys think. Humzah, I'll let you pose the question because I think it's a very interesting one, and I think times are slowly starting to change a little bit, where your point is becoming more and more true. So Humzah, why don't you just ask that question, and you and I can just talk about it for a little bit here.
Us being 2 quarterbacks that played football at a high... Well, you played at a higher level, but I still played football at a somewhat high level. We obviously going to have bias towards us, and, quarterbacks get a lot of shade if they're playing bad, or, we always want to say, but it's the O-line, or it's the receiver, or it's the defense, it's, the quarterbacks and whatnot. We always have a bias towards the quarterbacks because, like, rightfully so. We play the position, we understand, what quarterbacks go through. You know, the pressure that you have as a quarterback is insanely difficult, and not only is it a physical, not only does it put a physical toll on you, it's a huge mental toll on you, and that just goes with football in general, but especially more being a quarterback. There's so much you have to know, so much you have to do for the team. So I posed this question earlier this week to Huzaifah, and I'm like, if Jared Stidham beat the New England Patriots, I think it's time to say that I don't think quarterbacks are the most important position in football.
Restart.
I don't think.
This guy started as soon as he's about to say it. Say it again. Restart. Just restart.
I think it's time to start having the conversation of saying, I don't think quarterback is the most important position in football anymore. If Jared Stidham wins this game and they go to the Super Bowl to play against either the Rams or the Seahawks, I think it's a legitimate question because, and there's proof to show it. There's proof to show it. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles last year, and I know we were Cowboys fans and we hate Philly, but Jalen Hurts is not that good of a quarterback. Last year, he had the best running back. He had one of the best wide receiver duos in football. He had the best O-line. He had the best defense in football last year. And they weren't Jalen Hurts was not the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. It's because of everything else. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles again this year. When they needed Jalen Hurts to step up, he was nowhere to be found. They've won games not because of Hurts at all. It's because of what the defense have done. Look at the Cowboys this year. Dak Prescott was playing at an MVP level, MVP caliber this year. I don't know how he wasn't put in the MVP finalist.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that after. But the numbers and everything he was doing with his offense, with this Cowboys offense, third in points per game. I don't have the exact statistics on me, but the Cowboys offense was one of the best offense in football. But they had the worst defense in football, and that is the reason why the Cowboys are not in the playoffs right now. What's another team that I can think of really quickly? I was thinking about earlier. Who's not a good quarterback?
Well, listen. Can I chime in on this?
Yeah, go.
So I think this is a very interesting question, and I think it's a question now that NFL GMs have to really start to consider when making decisions on signing quarterbacks or even drafting a quarterback. So for people who didn't hear Humzah because he started to stutter before he said it, what Humzah is saying is Humzah's making a statement that we don't necessarily believe anymore that the quarterback position is the most important position and valuable position for a team to have success in the NFL. Correct, Humzah?
Yeah.
And I think there is some merit to that point. I actually think it's something that people should consider more. I have Houston. Some points to kind of...
Sorry to interrupt, but Houston was one of the biggest examples I forgot to say.
Yeah, CJ Stroud. So hold up. Can I go?
Go. Sorry.
So I think that there's some really interesting cases where this point can be, true. Humzah obviously mentioned Jalen Hurts, and he just mentioned CJ Stroud. But look at it on the flip side, right? If you have arguably, Patrick Mahomes, for example, he's arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks that we have ever seen in our lifetime. Okay, at least our lifetime, right? He'll go down as a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has X amount of rings. He's changed the evolution of being a quarterback, right? They did not make the playoffs this year, not because of him. He played at an okay, decent kind of level.
No, he played good.
Defense,
played very high.
No, but it wasn't at the same level he once was. But I'm saying their defense couldn't get off the field on third down. They didn't have the ability to make stops, and there was no supporting characters around Patrick Mahomes to help him. You look at CJ Stroud. I don't think I've ever seen an individual get carried more by an organization than CJ Stroud did in Houston. And that's no disrespect to CJ Stroud. He's a good quarterback. He's going to bounce back from his tough playoff loss. But that defense, that Houston Texans defense, was unbelievable throughout this whole year and also unbelievable in that game, and they still lost. So what we're saying is you can have a quarterback. I think of it like this. A quarterback is very similar to a goalie in the NHL. In the NHL, in hockey, you don't need the best of the best of the best goalie. You just need goalies to make the saves that they should and some saves that they should not. Okay, that is the true definition of a goalie. Just like quarterback. You need a quarterback who can make the easy throws, make the easy reads, but you also need that quarterback to make a few throws that typically they're not supposed to. But you don't have to be an elite level quarterback to do that, is what I'm trying to say and what we're trying to say. I think you're starting to see it now, the evolution of defenses. And another point to this thing, Humzah, is right now we're living in a world where coaches are getting fired left, right, and center, and you're starting to see new coaches getting hired. A lot of these coaches who are getting hired are now defensive-focused guys. You know, guys who are starting to shift the mindset of offensive defenses. You're starting to see NFL teams keep their defensive-minded coaches because they don't want to lose those coaches into the portal. So I think it's an interesting point. I think, why are you laughing? Portal? Okay, these guys think I exaggerate my O's a lot. It's crazy. It's not that. It's a little bit true. I said portal.
Thinking cute.
Okay, but that's what we're trying to say. That's all we're trying to say is that, you know, the quarterback position is very important for a team, but it's not. We're not saying it's the most important position.
Also, like
I think it's overall.
Other teams, for example, like look at Joe Burrow last year. Joe Burrow was an MVP candidate. I still think he should have been. I had Joe Burrow over Josh Allen last year, just based off numbers and how he did as a quarterback of that year. They had one of the best offenses last year. They went 9-8. They couldn't make the playoffs. You wonder why? Because your defense was horrible. Joe Burrow played literally the best that you can possibly play as a quarterback, and they still did not make the playoffs because of a horrible defense. Baker Mayfield this year, he was a front runner for MVP for the first couple weeks, and we kind of saw him die off. Not because if he was playing bad, it's because that defense was letting up points left, right, and center. Their linebackers were horrible this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Injuries kept happening to that team, and the Buccaneers could not make the playoffs this year either. I think there's so many examples that show that you don't have to be the best quarterback. Like, look at Brock Purdy years before when the San Francisco 49ers and they made the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. That was when Prime Debo existed. They had McCaffrey. They had Brandon Ayuk. They had George Kittle. They had a really good O-line. At that time, the 49ers had one of the best defenses in the NFL. They weren't making the Super Bowl because of how good Brock Purdy played. They were making the Super Bowl because of how good everyone else played. And I understand football is a team sport. But the point that we're trying to make is that everyone says, you know, quarterback is the most important position that you need on the field. It's a yes and no answer. Well, yes, you need a good quarterback. You need someone to go what?
Well, back to the San Francisco point. Just 2 years before Brock Purdy, Humzah, who was your quarterback who went to the Super Bowl?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo right now is a backup quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. So he obviously made throws to help the team make the Super Bowl.
And Trey Lance was leading them in the beginning of the season.
The argument is you need an average to an okay quarterback to have success in this league. Of course, like again, we've seen it before where Mahomes carries teams with his athletic ability, but they also had great defenses as well. Like, it's such a healthy match of a good offense and a good defense, and I think that's evident right now. Again, we're biased Cowboy fans, but like look at Dak Prescott on the offense this year. Dallas was top 5 in every offensive metric this year, and we were not in the playoffs. I'll say that again. The Dallas Cowboys were a top 5 team this year in almost every offensive metric, and we did not make the playoffs. Dak Prescott was should have been an MVP candidate. He got robbed, which we'll get to right now, but we did not make the playoffs. And you look at the defense. Okay, I'm not. It's not even that. I'm not exaggerating that. I said playoff. Okay, let's just move on. So that's a really good question. A good debate. Please let us know on our Instagram, on our comment section, please, if you guys agree or disagree with this take. But Humzah, before we move on to...
this is also coming from two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You're literally an offensive coordinator for a high school team. I've been playing quarterback for quite a while now and whatnot. Like, that's just like, that's how you know it's getting super real. And I'm not saying we have the credibility to be talking about this, but like, we've understand the position. We've played football for so many years. We've watched football for so many years. I think we have at least the credibility enough to at least bring the point into the air, if that makes sense. So
yeah, I've been playing quarterback for over 15 years and played at the collegiate level for a couple of years. Obviously got injured and played high school football at a very high level. Played provincial ball. Humzah has represented the city and the province. He's played high school football at a very high level as well. So we understand it from a different perspective. We're not in the NCAA, we're not in the NFL, so there's obviously their perspective that is super important. But again, I leave it at this: if Jared Stidham goes into this game on Sunday and wins, I think the argument has full merit and full. You can bring it up. But Humzah, before we move on to the college football recap, which is a phenomenal game on Monday night where the Indiana Hoosiers won, a perfect season for them. But Humzah, I want to go over the NFL awards and let me know what your thoughts are and who you think is going to win these awards here. So we'll start off here. We'll go Offensive Rookie of the Year. We have Jackson Dart, quarterback for the New York Giants. Emeka Egbuka, receiver for the Washington Buccaneers. Travion Henderson, running back for the New England Patriots. Ted McMillan, wide receiver for the Panthers, and Tyler Shugg, quarterback for the Shuck for the New Orleans Saints. Humzah, who do you give that to?
I think Dart is a reasonable candidate, but I also don't think Dart played his best football later on in the season. I think if Travion Henderson got the touches that he got early in the season, I don't think it would have been close. I thought Travion for sure was going to win. Everyone thought in the beginning of the year that Emeka Egbuka was going to win it, but he kind of fell off, and then Tedero McMillan rose up, and then in comes Tyler Shuck, who also balled out. So these are great candidates. Honestly, I'm going to be different. I'm going to go Travion Henderson, especially if they make the Super Bowl, because for some reason it's not based off regular season anymore.
I know. It is.
If Travion Henderson has a good game, I think I'm going to go Travion Henderson.
I think
he's not going to win it, but I'm just going to say I want Travion to win.
Emeka Egbuka got injured at some point this year, right?
He did.
Yeah, I think if he didn't get injured, he definitely would have been the winner. He was playing at a great level. I think it's going to be Tyler Shugg. Shuck.
You're just butchering everyone's today.
No, what's it? Why is it?
Literally, like, instead of the F word, just put it CH. Shuck.
Tyler Shuck. I think it's going to be Tyler Shuck. I think his record was great at the end of the year. But you know what? Okay, it can't be him because he only played like 6 games.
Well,
so
you could say Dart? Or
maybe McMillan. I think McMillan got it.
McMillan?
Okay, here we go. Defensive Rookies of the Year candidates: Abdul Carter from the Giants, Nick Emenwaru, Seattle Seahawks, James Pierce, Falcons, Xavier Watts. 2 Falcon players on that list, and Carson Swessinger, from the Browns. So who do you think is going to win that?
I think first of all, I just want to point out that there is one player that I think is missing from that list.
Donovan Ezraku.
I think Donovan Ezraku at least should have been nominated. I don't think he was going to win. I think he at least should have been nominated. I know sacks are one thing.
He had more sacks.
If he had more sacks, for sure. But, dude, this guy had like one of the highest pressure rates out of a rookie. He had a lot of TFLs. Definitely should have been considerate for it. But I think for sure, it's going to be a unanimous MVP this year. Rookie of the Year. I think it's going to be Carson Swessinger. I think he's been balling. He's made first team All-Pro. I'm pretty sure he did. But, man, Swessinger, he's a dog.
I like James Pierce. I think he had a good year this year for the Falcons. He was a big player on that defensive line.
I actually wanted him last year.
I know. I think he's a great player. So I'm going to go James Pierce for that one, Humzah. Okay, Offensive Player of the Year finalists. We had Drake May, quarterback of the New England Patriots. Christian McCaffrey, running back for the San Francisco 49ers. Puka Nacua, receiver, LA Rams. Bijan Robinson, running back, Falcons. And Jackson Smith and Jigba, receiver.
I think if Puka Nacua didn't get hurt, it would have gone to him. It's actually going on. I want to pull up the stats of the side-by-side comparison of Puka and JSN because
we can barely hear you.
Huh?
I said we can barely hear you.
I said I want to pull up the side-by-side stats of Puka Nacua and JSN because I'm pretty sure they're very close in stats right now. So Nacua leads the NFL in receptions. He's second in yards with a 1,715. He has 10 touchdowns. How much does JSN have? Sorry, guys. We should have brought this up earlier. JSN is 4th in receptions, 1st in yards, and also has 10 touchdowns. He played every game. Puka missed 2 games this year.
I think it's JSN.
I think they will give it to JSN, but I think wait, George Pickens wasn't a candidate?
George Pickens did not even make first team All Pro.
Yeah, I know, that's ridiculous.
He had better stats than Jamar Chase. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna go JSN.
Okay, we're both on the same page. Or maybe Drake May, but
No,
like
Drake May, the quarterback's not a
defensive player of the year, Humza. Like, I don't even know why we have to say
we shouldn't. You don't even need to say anyone else.
Myles
Myles
Garrett.
Garrett.
Yeah, we're done. Myles Garrett. I'm not even going to mention the other players because Myles Garrett is the defensive
Who
player.
actually were the candidates though?
Will Anderson, Nick Benito, Aiden Hutchinson, and this guy, Micah Parsons. Don't even know who that guy is. But Myles Garrett.
I actually had a dream about Michael Parsons.
Okay, hold on. We can bring that up later. Okay. Comeback player of the year. Stephon Diggs, Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, and Dak Prescott.
I want to say Dak, and I hope Dak wins it, but I don't think he's going to win it because of how things transpired this year. I think they are going to give it to Christian McCaffrey this year, who had over 2,000. Bro, he had 2,000 scrimmage yards total.
Yeah, no, that's good. I thought Aiden Hutchinson after his injury, he had a great year. He had a good year as well. Dak, though, man, like, come on now. He was injured too last year. He got injured in week 6, came back in an MVP type year. Obviously,
if they made the playoffs, it would have been a different conversation.
We're on the same page there.
Like Dak was 3rd in passing. He's 4th in he was 4th in touchdowns thrown, and he was 5th in QBR. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
Worthy of a comeback player of the year for sure.
All right, coach of the year candidates: Liam Cohen, the coach of the Jaguars; Ben Johnson, Chicago Bears; Mike McDonald, Seattle Seahawks; Kyle Shanahan, San Francisco 49ers; and Mike Vrabel, Patriots. I don't think it's close. I think it's Mike Vrabel.
Mike McDonald's also a good candidate too.
He is, but like if you look at what were the Patriots last year? 4-13, whatever.
Yeah, but Seahawks did make playoffs last year.
A top defense in this league. They're in the AFC Championship game. Mike McDonald is a good candidate as well, but I think it's Mike Vrabel. That's my choice.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Mike Vrabel as well.
All right, here we go. MVP Humza, Josh Allen, Trevor. Like what?
Is he actually on that list?
He's on this list. Like how is Trevor Lawrence on this list and not Dak Prescott, man? That's insane. Just put Dak's name up there. What? It's because he made the playoffs. It's because the Jags made the playoffs. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, and Matthew Stafford. So we have 4 quarterbacks and 1 running back. McCaffrey seems to put his name.
So Trevor Lawrence statistically, I'm just gonna put it up there. Dak Prescott had more passing yards. He had more touchdowns. He had less interception. He had a better QBR.
Yeah, but so the MVP just gets given to players who make the playoffs. It looks like because every single one of these teams made the playoffs.
Okay, all right.
I think it's gonna be. When did they announce the winners of the awards?
I kind of hate how they don't do it at the end of the season.
Yeah, it should be end of the season because I think bias goes into playoff success. So I think if Matthew Stafford goes to the Super Bowl, it happens the day before Super Bowl, right? I think it's the day before. Yeah, it's honors. Yeah, it's always
they announced it the day
it's like a few days before. So I think it's this. I think it's simple. If Matthew Stafford goes to the Super Bowl, he is going to be the MVP. If Drake May goes to the Super Bowl, he's going to be the MVP. If they're both in the Super Bowl, I think it's gonna be Matthew Stafford this year.
Let's
look at the stats there.
Yeah, so Stafford's number 1 in passing yards this year. He's number 1 in touchdowns. Only has 8 interceptions. He's 4th in QBR. Also put into perspective that Stafford did that without Puka for a couple games. Put it into perspective that look at the schedule. The teams that Matthew Stafford had to go up against. I think for sure. Also at his age, dude, Stafford's old. I swear, ever since I've watched football, Stafford has been playing.
So what about Drake May stats?
Drake May?
Yeah, what are his stats?
So Drake May, I wish, that's why, one day when we make it, when we make it, we'll have this attached. I'll have the stats like here. Yeah, versus me just pulling it up on my phone. Okay, so Drake May was fourth in passing yards, third in touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He was first in QBR. I don't dude. How does QBR work?
It's like your. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be Matthew Stafford. I think Matthew Stafford.
I don't understand. Based off statistics, shouldn't Stafford have the best QBR?
I don't know, man. We're not math people.
Yeah, okay.
QBR is like their like rating, their grade, I guess.
Yeah, I think it should be Stafford.
Okay, we're on the same picture. So those were our awards. Actually, we should have gone back to our episode earlier the year when we had our MVP. I think I said Dak Prescott was going to be MVP. I said Defensive Rookie of the Year. I said Abdul Carter, who was a candidate. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think I said Matthew Golden.
No, I said Matthew Golden.
I said maybe Genty. I said Genty.
Genty should have been a candidate, though. He had over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, that team is atrocious. And Defensive Rookie of the Year, I said Abdul Carter. He was a candidate. So we were honestly, we had a couple.
I said Jalen Walker. Jalen Walker was leading, and then James Pierce just took over.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's our NFL news, and obviously we'll end the episode with some Dallas Cowboys news, which I think is great news. But Humzah, the national championship game was on Monday night. Indiana picking up the big win against Miami. What were your thoughts on the game, first of all? How do you think the guys that we had... Oh, by the way, our mock draft, 2 people were like, yo, this mock draft... Listen, we recorded this mock draft last week on like a Tuesday. Obviously, with our schedules, we upload a few days later. And then Dante Moore decides Wednesday night to be like, yo, I'm going back to Oregon. So it completely messed up our mock draft.
I just want to talk about that for like this a minute or two.
Yeah, you got it.
I think Dante Moore going back might be a good decision for him, like maybe a mental decision. But in terms of where he would have been,
yeah, it's not good.
He was a number 2 overall. He would have gone number 2 to the Jets for sure. For sure, Dante Moore would have gone.
He just didn't want to go. He didn't want to play for the Jets.
He didn't want to play for the Jets, so that's why I think Ruben Bain's not going to declare. Because he's going to go to the Jets.
No, I think Ruben Bain didn't he already declare?
No, I think he did as well.
But what's funny is that Dante Moore didn't declare, and now next year he's going to play for the Jets.
And it doesn't make sense. Also, what also doesn't make it would have made sense if they didn't bring in Dylan Raiola, because Dylan Raiola is still there.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a.
He didn't go into the transfer portal yet.
I can't remember. There was a situation a couple years ago where something similar happened, and the quarterback ended up staying at that school, waited for the other guy to get drafted, and then he played the year after. I'm trying to remember. I feel terrible. I forget.
Yeah, that's my. I'm joking.
No, there was someone who stayed at the school when he could have been played. He could have been playing somewhere else. Can't get it, but yeah, that's crazy. So that our mock draft got messed up there. Regardless, we will be dropping another mock draft. I don't think next week. Hopefully, the guest that I have in mind, we can schedule a time and he can hop on next week. But I think maybe the week after Humzah, because that'll be Super Bowl week, would be a good opportunity to do a mock draft for part 2 for us. So. That'll be exciting. But Humzah, quickly, the national championship game, Indiana picking up that big win against Miami. What were your thoughts on the game? Mendoza, is he legit? Like, he's one of the Raiders, it looks like. Yeah. The Raiders are going to ruin his career. Like, what are your initial thoughts after that game? And
shout out to Indiana, though. I don't think anybody ever thought Indiana would go not only 15-0, but they would go
16-0.
16-0. Well, actually, it would be 12-0. Nobody thought they would go 12-0 and then go win the Natty. Shout out to Indiana, who just completely changed around the program. Fernando Mendoza, he didn't really have the greatest game statistically, but he was commanding the field. That's the thing that Mendoza does. I know we use the term game manager as like a bad thing, but he's a good game manager. Like, he really commands that offense. He's controlling the game. That's what Fernando Mendoza does on the offensive side of the field. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he did run one, which was pretty sick. The amount of broken tackles that he broke off to go get in there. And Miami, man, Ruben Bain and Akeem Essador, dude. Those guys are legit, man. Both coming off the edge. Whoever drafts them will be lucky to have them.
Do you see Mel Kiper's recent draft for Dallas?
Yeah, who they have pick?
Number 12, they had Sonny Styles.
20, Akeem Essador.
Akeem Essador.
Yeah, shout out Akeem Essador, man.
Yeah, he's really increased his draft stock after this playoff.
For sure. We finished the year with like 12 and a half sacks with playoffs and whatnot. So, yeah, I think it was a great game, a very entertaining game. One thing I just didn't understand, man, Indiana just kept running the ball, man. They didn't really give Mendoza enough time. They didn't really want him to throw, I guess. I'm not sure why, but
yeah, I don't think they wanted that pass rush from Miami to get honestly in the backfield and make plays. So running the ball is the best counter to an effective pass rush. Just ask Micah Parsons. But I think Mendoza, he, like you said, managed the game really well. That clutch touchdown, 4th and 5. His arm was all battered up and bruised. Seems like a very good kid as well. You want to root for guys like that, and great story as well, being from the area and grew up a Miami Hurricane fan. So pretty cool for him. And I also think, in 5-10 years from now, when he's well into his NFL career, I think he's going to be a legit top 8 quarterback in the NFL, like a consistent top 8, top 10 quarterback. He has that kind of it factor to him. He has that leadership. The locker room is going to, rally around him. I just really hope the Raiders build around him and do what's necessary, either receivers, an offensive line.
Have the talent. They have even right now. They have the talent. They have
zero offensive line. They have zero offensive line.
That's what I'm saying. They just got to rebuild offensive line. But in terms of talent, they got Genty, they got Bowers, they got Tucker, Dante Thornton, who's actually good, but they don't.
They have no one. They have to really build around Mendoza and make sure he has a really successful career, because I think he has the talent and that factor to do that.
Have they got a new head coach yet? The Raiders?
No. So Humzah, I'm so proud of you. Beautiful segment, Humzah. Well done. Into our next topic, our final topic of the episode today is the crazy coaching carousel that's been happening in the NFL. Humzah, I think the last time we were on, we touched on it a little bit, but John Harbaugh fired from Baltimore, the new head coach of the New York Football Giants. Mike Tomlin steps down as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're currently looking at Mike McCarthy as their potential head coach, and obviously a few other candidates as well. Sean McDermott, who no one was expecting this at all. Is it Sean McDermott? Yeah, Sean McDermott. For the Buffalo Bills, he gets fired, which is a crazy, crazy shocker to everyone. So he's looking for a new job. Brian Daboll is rumored to be interviewing our good friend Brian Daboll, interviewing with them. I think he finished today. Kevin Stefanski got let go by the Cleveland Browns. He got hired by the Atlanta Falcons. What else is there? I'm trying to think on top of my head here. Miami Dolphins signed Packers defensive coordinator. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name here.
The Chargers signed Mike McDaniel as their OC. Robert Saleh, the new head coach, will let go former DC of the San Francisco 49ers, and now also just signed a 5-year deal with Tennessee.
Jeff Hafley, he's the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. But Humzah, big news for us, an exciting one per Ian Rappaport just a few hours ago. Breaking news, the Dallas Cowboys are officially hiring Eagles defensive back pass game coordinator Christian Parker as their next defensive coordinator. Humzah, this is extremely exciting here being Dallas Cowboy fans. This was a guy that we did mention a couple weeks ago as a potential candidate, a sleeper kind of pick. For people who don't know, Christian Parker, he's under the Vic Fangio football tree, and Humzah will touch a little bit what that defense looks like. But in terms of a resume standpoint, he helped Pat Surtain develop into an All-Pro. He helped Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell become great, reliable All-Pro defensive backs as well. He was in the division from the Philadelphia Eagles, now coming to Dallas to be our defensive coordinator, Humzah. I just think it's going to be a great intel information for that to happen. He's 34 years old. He's young. He can relate to the players. This is 100% a Brian Schottenheimer hire. I think Jerry Jones maybe had a little bit, but this has Brian Schottenheimer written all over it. I'm really excited. We got a young defensive coordinator, Humzah, 34 years old. This is great. I'm super excited. Defensive back focus, which the Dallas Cowboys are clearly lacking in, and that makes the pick number 12 very interesting, Humzah. Maybe
I think it also just makes it a lot better that we got him from Philly.
From Philly. And, I'm going through Philadelphia Twitter right now.
They're upset, dude.
They are pissed. They are not happy. Like, Cowboys are going to sign Nakobe Dean and Reed this offseason now, like, shaking my head.
That'd be sick.
Cowboys, sorry, I can't speak right now.
Nakobe Dean and Reed Blankenship, you got me thinking now.
For Philly Nation on Twitter, and the month somehow gets worse. Eagles lose a potential head coach candidate that coached up multiple defensive backs, Pro Bowl and All-Pro levels. The Cowboys will also get 2 third-round comp picks for Parker if he gets hired as a head coach and is with Dallas for the next at least 2 seasons.
Really?
Philly fans are here's what he said. Philly fans are Philadelphia fan 101. Dallas Cowboys the best team in the world. No. Say that. But this is exciting, Humzah. What are your thoughts on Christian Parker and him being our new defensive coordinator, and what that maybe means for the 12th overall pick in April's draft?
I think when we said it, I don't think any of us really mentioned him as a candidate because we didn't know if he was a candidate at the time. But then once we found out, I kind of gained favoritism towards him and started to be, because I did some more research into him in his past and where he used to coach and what he did for Denver and what he did for Philly. He's a big factor for the Philadelphia Eagles' success defensively. I mean, look how good Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean were this year, and how good their safeties were with Reed Blankenship and Andrew Makuba. Like, a lot of it comes from him because he's their defensive pass game coordinator. So I honestly think...
your mic's making a lot of noise right now.
Am I good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I think a lot of the success comes from him, and I think it'd be super excited to have him. And plus, Vic Fangio, the Eagles' current defensive coordinator, he always has really good defensive schemes, and he always has a really good defense. And I'm assuming, we don't know, that his defense, Christian Parker's defense, would be kind of similar. You know, they run a bit of a base 3-4 with nickel. With a nickel sometimes, or they add an additional outside linebacker. They run a lot of cover 2, or not cover 2, but they have a lot of 2 high safeties. So I think we're gonna see shells like that a lot with this new Dallas defense. And like you mentioned before, I think for sure, and I'm fully confident that in this draft, whether that be at pick 12 or whether that be at pick 20, the Dallas Cowboys will be drafting a corner. And Mansour Delane is someone to look out for. Jermon McCoy, Avion Terrell, and even Brandon Cisse. Like, these are guys you should definitely look out for.
And just to look at how much Christian Parker meant to the Philadelphia Eagles, Cooper DeJean a couple hours ago on Twitter, man with 4 ends, crying emoji, period. They got a great one. Wouldn't be the player I am without Christian Parker. So that just kind of shows you how much a star player like Cooper DeJean thinks about our new defensive coordinator and Christian Parker. And you mentioned before, I grew up watching, when DeMarco Murray left Dallas to go sign with the Eagles, broke my heart. When Kellen Moore, our former quarterback, offensive coordinator, left us to go win a Super Bowl with the Eagles, that broke my heart. There's only 2 things I hate in this world: Philadelphia Eagles and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And so when you can take someone from one of those teams that is so valuable to that organization, someone, either a player or a coach, that the fan base is genuinely upset about, you start to feel a little bit good, a little bit confident. So I'm extremely excited for this. I think knowing how that offense operates from the Eagles' perspective, him coming in here and helping our defense, Chavon Ravel, and hey, I saw the Nakobe Dean tweet is not that bad of an idea if you think about it. Obviously, Nakobe Dean, who people who do not know, he was their stalwart middle linebacker for the Eagles, and him and Christian Parker obviously have a great relationship.
Yeah, he had a really good year this year. This year, he truly broke out.
That could be,
you need Blankenship, dude. Like, we need a safety. We really desperately need a safety.
And we've said this before too, and we'll have a full mock draft episode, and hopefully next week with the guests that we have on, we'll do a deep dive into Dallas Cowboys content for everyone watching. But, at pick 12, if you pick a DB, there are options at linebacker at pick 20 that you can kind of rely on. Like C.J. Allen is a guy who I think very highly of as a player that the Cowboys can pick at 20. If you pick a linebacker at 12, the options start to slim down a little bit. Avion Terrell is a great player, but I think Mercer Delane is by far the best player. So Humzah, that's extremely exciting. That made my day finding that news. It made my day even more. The Eagle fans are upset. They're crying, and they are not enjoying their month. Because when they're not enjoying their month, I'm enjoying my month.
really intriguing. I'm really intrigued to see if Christian Parker gets anyone. I think we're gonna get a few Eagles players that are gonna be in the jersey, but I don't know who. I swear, if it's like Keely Ringo, I'm gonna be really pissed off. But like, I hope it's.
That's not gonna be kidding. Hey, Nakobe Dean, what's up? Hey, Jordan Davis, what's up?
Jordan Davis.
Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. No, I'm kidding. Okay, Humzah, what a good episode. A little fun episode today for us. Humzah, really enjoyed that. Before Humzah takes it home for us, everyone, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Okay, if you have waited, if you guys stay this whole time, please just go down there, click the subscribe button. Highly appreciate it, and also send this to your friends, your family, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your uncle, and let them know that the HnH Podcast is the next up and coming podcast in the world. Humzah, take it away for us.
Dude, also it's snowing bad right now.
It's a full vortex outside right now. It's a full vortex.
I'm sorry. I know this is probably our longest podcast yet, but I'm just gonna mention this really quickly. I said this to Huzaifah earlier, but the other day was the first time I got recognized for the podcast. It was first time I got recognized for someone like I didn't know this guy, but he said, yeah, like I seen your stuff, you and your brother and whatnot. And honestly, if he's watching, or like if anyone, honestly, like actually did make my day. It was pretty cool just to get noticed like that. We're small content creators, and we have dreams one day of making it, big in this industry. So, hey man, it's a start, and hopefully, one day, inshallah, we'll continue to keep growing and continue to get noticed.
And Humzah, TikTok content soon, bro. We're gonna get these imposter games, these guest NFL players. We're gonna get on that very soon. So,
sure.
Humzah, take it away. Give us our nice closing.
Yeah, I'm saying after this long episode, we will figure something out. But yeah, again, we appreciate all the support. Like Huzaifah mentioned before, in a very aggressive tone. Please hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. We do appreciate, again, all the support, and we will catch you guys next week. Other than that, let's go. Cowboys Nation, Christian Parker, and Reed Black and Kobe Dean. What's up? Anyways, we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.